Hey guys, this is Bharadwaj with Fonearena.com, and this is the Spice Dream Uno, one of the first Android One devices to launch in the Indian market. So this Android One program was announced at the Google I/O conference some time back, and it was announced by Sundar Pichai, who is actually in India right now inaugurating the launch of devices. So the main promise of Android One is that you will get all the latest updates when Google releases it, all the latest updates of Android. So that's one key promise of Android One, and one of the first devices to launch with the program is the Spice Dream Uno. So we're going to unbox this device, see what it comes with, and along with some really interesting deals and offers that it has. So we're going to take a look at the device and the box contents to see what the new Android One devices are looking like. So let's go ahead into the unboxing. Now, it's important to note that all the Android One devices are cheap, so they are entry-level smartphones priced at less than or almost on par with $100, which is around 6,000 rupees. So this phone is 6,399 rupees. That's the MRP of the Spice Dream Uno, and the Micromax one should be pretty similar. So that said, let's take a look at these specs. I'm sure you already have seen the specs of this device, but let's take a look at it anyway. So it has the first key point as first to get latest Android updates. So it's obvious that Android One is at the forefront. The software is at the forefront here. The hardware takes a step back. So other things like you have an IPS display, you have a quad-core 1.3 GHz processor, which is the MediaTek MT6582. All Android One devices will be running on MediaTek processors. So that's something of a deal that Google has made with the company. And then you have connectivity, Wi-Fi, HSPA plus Bluetooth, which is pretty obvious. And then you have dual SIM, of course, 3G and 3G, but only one of the SIMs can access 3G at a time. So not both the SIMs can access 3G at the same time. And then you have the camera, which is 5 megapixel autofocus at the back and 2 megapixel front-facing camera. You have memory at 4 gigs of ROM and 1 gigabyte of RAM. That's pretty normal. And then you have the micro SD expansion slot, of course. Sensors, gyromagnetic light proximity, and so on. Battery is 1700 mAh. So the key advantages that you get by getting an Android One device is that always the latest version of Android. That's actually up to 2 years when the star is taken into consideration. And then you have hardware designed so you can play, watch and work faster, which means that they are optimizing Android just for the chipsets, the MediaTek chipsets. And then you have Google Maps, YouTube and Google Play all built in. This is something key because most of the AOSP devices that usually don't come with some Google Play apps, but with Google Play services, miss out on some apps, but all these Google apps will be pre-installed on these devices. So that's about it for the Android One highlights. But for the Spice highlights, you have Spice Dream Care, which is device replacement guarantee, device onboarding and all that. And then you have Spice Dream Cloud, which has 10 gigabytes of cloud space plus 35 gigabytes of Google Drive. That's also from Google. Data privacy, sync and protection, remote control of data. So that's what you get with the Spice phone. This is the Spice specific advantage because most of the specs are same between Spice and Micromax. So there needs to be some kind of a differentiation factor. And the other thing that you can notice is that free updates and downloads for 6 months. This is really interesting because let's bring it closer here. It's really interesting because for 6 months you'll be getting free updates and downloads, which might mean just the software updates, but we are sure that even that is something really interesting because if Android continues to get updates, like for example 6 months down you will be getting Android L, sure you can download it over Wi-Fi, but looks like Airtel will be offering free updates for Android One devices. That's something of a new deal that we haven't heard before. So that's definitely Google doing the work here. So anyway, let's open up the box finally and then take a look at the device. So here's the device on top. That's the device. Pretty interesting. The build quality is pretty nice for the price it comes at. That's the highlights again on the top. So nothing new there, same as what we had read in the box. So let's keep the device aside for a while. Let's take a look at the box contents quickly. So you get the standard box contents. You don't get anything special. You got the battery here, which we're gonna take out. So that's the 1700 mAh battery. And keep that aside. And then you have the usual contents like the micro USB cable. So that's the micro USB cable. And then you have the USB power adapter. That's also pretty normal. And then you have the earphones. There you go, not in ear, it's just the normal earphones, but I guess that's okay for the price. And then you have the warranty card. The warranty card, the list of authorized service centers, and the Dream Uno user manual. So that's about it for the box contents. Last but not the least, you have also the scratch card. Scratch card is something that Spice usually packages in their boxes. So that's good to see that it making a comeback, or rather being a standard in all the Spice boxes. So yeah, that's about it for the box contents. Let's take a look at the phone now. Let's take a quick hardware walkthrough of the Spice Android One device, the Dream Uno. So over at the front you have a 4.5-inch FWVGA screen, which means that it's 854 by 480 resolution. You have a 2-megapixel front-facing camera at the top, the earpiece, which looks very much like the Nexus earpiece, to be honest. So that's the earpiece. The Nexus 5's earpiece is also very similar. And then over at the right you have the volume rocker and the power lock switch. There is the 3.5mm audio jack at the top. Let's brighten it up a little. So that's the 3.5mm audio jack at the top. There is the 5-megapixel camera at the back with the LED flash, and the left has nothing. The bottom has the primary microphone and the micro USB slot. So the rest of the controls are in the back panel, of course, which is removable. So there you go, that's the dual SIM slots and the micro SD card slot. Both are micro SIM, it looks like. Yes, they are micro SIM. And this is the battery slot, this is the micro SD card slot. So let's pop the battery in and power the Android One phone on. Since this is the first time we are taking a look at Android One, it should be pretty interesting. That's the Spice logo, very, very bright screen. So it's extremely hard to take a very normal look at it. So it has the same boot animation as, slightly different though, slightly different animation than Android Wear or Android L, but it's very evident that it's Google. So that's the new Android boot animation, and you're straight away in. So that's the whole very vanilla user experience that Google promises with Android One, and it's pretty evident. Let's bring down the brightness a little. There we go. So that's Android 4.4 KitKat for you. That's the Google Now launcher. That's all the Google apps pre-installed. You also have Flipkart. So these will be sold on Flipkart. The Spice devices will be sold on Flipkart, and it is rumored that the Micromax devices will be sold on Amazon. So there is a big e-commerce play that's going on. So here is the vanilla camera app that you get. So it says insert an SD card before using the camera, which is pretty interesting. It also already has the 4 gigs of ROM. So anyway, let's check out the Android version, which should be the latest. And you can see the phone is very fast. The very smooth performance is very evident here. It's running on a 6582 MediaTek quad-core processor, which is pretty good actually. And overall the smoothness is very evident. It looks like Google has indeed optimized the operating system for the chipset. So going into the storage, you can see that it has 2.27 gigabytes of total space, out of which available is about 2.03 gigabytes, and then you have the option to insert an SD card too, but there doesn't seem to be an option to move the apps, which might be a problem for people who are looking at it. So SIM cards, this is the first time that we are seeing the stock Android phone to have a dual SIM slot. So that's also Google's implementation here, which might have been from with a help from MediaTek. So that's about it for a quick hardware and a software overview of the Spice Dream Uno. Last but not least, the display looks pretty decent. It is kind of reflective, but for the price it comes at, it looks really decent. We'll be letting you know more on the device, including benchmarks, gaming reviews, and so on. If you're following our YouTube channel, you'll be getting the same. But if you haven't started following it, do hit the subscribe button right down here. You can take a look at all the videos that are going to come up. And then do hit the like button if you also like this video. So that's about it for the unboxing of the Spice Dream Uno. Do let us know what you think in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.